Thank you very much for joining us tonight. First, a look at our top stories tonight. Tanzania's nuclear-powered cancer treatment advances. Here, amongst top pioneers in Government Technology Maturity Index. Good evening, I'm Agnes Tuniga. You can also follow us live on our YouTube channel, TBC Online, and also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has met and held talks with the Secretary General of the East African Community, Veronica Nduva, at the State House in Dar es Salaam. The EAC Secretary General has met the President for the first time since she assumed the post in June this year. Furthermore, President Samia Suluhu Hassan has also met and held talks with the Director of Service, Delivery and Government Engagement at the Susan Thompson Buffett Foundation, Dr. Tewodros Belek. President Samia has also met and held talks with members of the Tanzania's Planning Commission. Before starting the session, the President has led the members for a 1-minute silence in remembrance of the former Executive Secretary of the Planning Commission, Lawrence Mafuru, who died in India on November 9th this year. Furthermore, President of Zanzibar and Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, says the Tanzanian government under President Samia Suluhu Hassan has allocated 59 million euros to implement the plan to improve further cancer diagnosis and treatment centers using nuclear technology. Here are more details.
Dr. Mwinyi made the remarks while opening the Tanzania Atomic Energy Commission office and laboratory in Unguja South region in Zanzibar, stressing that through the program, both governments are determined to enhance the capacity of the cancer centers of Ocean Road in Dar es Salaam, Bugando in Mwanza, and establishing 4 new centers in Benjamin Mkapa Hospital in Dodoma, KCMC in Moshi, Mnazi Mmoja in Zanzibar, and the Mbeya Referral Hospital.
Our 2 governments have prepared a plan to increase the number of investigation centers and cancer treatment by using nuclear technology worth 59 million euros. Through this program, we aim to build the capacity of various institutes such as the Ocean Road Cancer Treatment Institute and the Bugando Institute of Mwanza. We also aim to build the 4 more institutes such at the Benjamin Mkapa Hospital in Dodoma, KCMC, Moshi, Mnazi Mmoja, Zanzibar, and the Mbeya Referral Hospital.
Completion of the program will advance a further cancer diagnosis and treatment in Tanzania using nuclear technology, allocating 6 centers in all key regions in the country. Furthermore, the Minister of Health of Zanzibar, Ahmed Nasor Mazrui, says the construction of the office and the laboratory in the country reflects the commitment of the revolutionary government of Zanzibar to finalize the Binguni and Mnazi Mmoja referral hospitals, expected to have advanced medical equipment.
Sasa tumejenga hospitali 11 za wilaya, 10 za wilaya na 1 ya mkoa. Zote hizi zina X-ray 11.
Now we have built 10 district and 1 regional hospitals. All these have 11 X-ray, and there is 1 MRI and 1 CT scan. Our expectation is that within the next short period of time, 5 regional hospitals will have CT scan, MRI, and X-ray.
The new office, Tanzania Atomic Energy Commission, and the laboratory will accommodate 17 offices and 5 laboratories and will support national nuclear energy policies and expand access to essential services.
Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa says, according to the 2023 Government Technology Maturity Index, which is a tool that measures a country's digital transformation progress in the public sector, Tanzania ranks third in Africa. The Prime Minister made the remarks earlier today while closing the working session of ministers and deputy ministers on the use of the e-cabinet electronic system in Dodoma, stressing that the improvements in the use of the electronic system will greatly help to reduce information delays, high printing costs, and the risk of unintended loss of information.
Kwa sasa ndio kinara katika kusisitiza umuhimu wa mawaziri na watumishi wa umma.
Our president is currently a leading advocate for emphasizing the importance of ministers and public servants to embrace technological changes in our work. In this context, the adoption of an electronic cabinet system is an essential step forward to implement government policies, especially in promoting the use of technology, reducing dependence on the papers, and enhancing efficiency in serving Tanzanians. Although many of you are already using this system, today's focus is on improving, and for those who hadn't started yet, today marks our entry. We remember the 2023 result on the comparison between countries in the context of the Government Technological Maturity, known as the Government Technical Maturity Index. Our country ranked the third in comparison with other African nations, which is a great source of the pride. We must recognize that this digital approach is our number one agenda for strengthening our performance. We want our people to emulate and make effort to counter threat so that the minister can work with confidence and keep their document secure at all the time.
The Prime Minister reiterates government's commitment under President Samia Suluhu Hassan to put emphasis on the importance of ministers and civil servants to be abreast with global technological changes. The government of Tanzania, in collaboration with the private sector, is working on the finalization of natural gas distribution infrastructure in Dar es Salaam region, aiming to strengthen its capacity to reach more Tanzanians. Speaking to TBC News, Dar es Salaam Commissioner of Energy from Ministry of Energy Engineers, Innocent Luoga, says upon completion of the project will enhance Tanzanian citizens to receive gas for cooking in their homes at an affordable price.
We are very far, as you understand that we have started in Mtwara, Lindi, Dar es Salaam and the Coast region, and we have a special subsidiary company under 3PDC, we call it GASCO, the gas distribution company. This is responsible for gas distribution, and we are continuing with this project, and for now you have seen yourself that we have invited the private sector to participate.
Tanzania has started the construction of the gas distribution infrastructure in 4 regions, namely Mtwara, Lindi, Coastal Region, and Dar es Salaam, to make sure that all Tanzanians use gas for cooking and other activities before 2034. Antimicrobial resistance, AMR, continues to be a health threat to millions in Tanzania, causing thousands of deaths attributable to AMR. Speaking to TBC News, Professor Jeremiah Seni, Associate Professor in Microbiology and Infectious Diseases in Catholic University of Health and Allied Sciences and Bugando Medical Center, says incorrect dosage and self-medication to be the leading causes of antimicrobial resistance.
And the antimicrobial resistance is when these microorganisms which cause different infectious diseases are not responding to the drugs which were previously used to treat them. And the causes of this is technically overarching. So, but the main one is, when we don't use the antimicrobials appropriate, so either misuse or overuse of antimicrobial agents. So this is probably the main factor causing or driving the burden of antimicrobial resistance. But the second one, it's also if you don't have like strong laboratory systems so as to diagnose and treat those bacteria or viruses or fungi or parasites, that one can also lead into, treating without evidence. So at the end of the day, you also drive the burden of antimicrobial. But also we're also getting a burden from, for example, the interaction between human and domestic animals, because also these bugs are found in domestic animals. So like if you are in contact with them and then you don't have like strong infection prevention and control, you can also end up into that. Then the last one, it's also improper disposal of wastes, and especially the hospital waste.
Health Reports estimates that by 2050, antimicrobial resistance could cause 1.91 million deaths each year, and that a further 8.22 million people will die from illnesses associated with resistance. More than 300 tourists from various countries have arrived in the country to eyewitness Tanzania's rich tourist attractions. The group of tourists who arrived at the Kilimanjaro International Airport, KIA, earlier today and is expected to be in the country for 5 days. Here's the report by Sechelela Kongola, read by Fayedankaka.
Receiving the tourists, the KIA Technical Services Manager, Martin Kinyamagoha, says the increase in the number of tourists in the country has largely been attributed by government's efforts to promote country's natural richness abroad.
Last year, tourists used to visit Tanzania 7 times a week, and because of the increase in tourists, they added trips, and currently there are 14 trips per week. So this tells you that we are receiving a lot of tourists in the country. We think that is due to the Royal Tour film by President Samia Suluhu Hassan.
Ethiopian Airline, largest airline group in Africa, says Tanzania continue to remain many tourists' most favorable destinations, and they are ready to deliver the service.
Kilimanjaro is the center of tourism here in East Africa, the most popular one. Many people are coming from different parts of the world, including South America. Europe is known, Asia, Australia, America, Canada. So this aircraft will give us big opportunity of carrying many passengers to Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro is our center of business. There is tourism here, big capacity. So we are very glad to bring it to Kilimanjaro, this aircraft, for the first time.
The tourists are expected to stay for 5 days in mainland Tanzania, and their group will visit Zanzibar.
We stay for 5 days in Tanzania for safari, and then we go to Zanzibar.
The Assistant Director of the Vocational Education Department from the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Mojuma Lingwanda, commends Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences, MUHAS, for improving girls' and women's access to digital health technologies. Dr. Mojuma was in Dar es Salaam during the 4th Digital Conference for Capacity Building on Health, emphasizing the use of digital technology for solving various challenges in the health sector. Emmanuel Samuel attended the conference and has prepared the following report.
It is a digital conference and innovation in health sector organized by the Muhimbili University of Health and Allied Sciences, MUHAS, where the MUHAS Deputy Vice Chancellor, Professor Emmanuel Balanda, says the main goal of the conference is to ensure that no girl is left behind in access to digital health technologies.
We see that bringing women together is important and brings unique insights and determination to shape the future of technology and health. I would just wish to let you know that we have a very robust gender policy. We have a unit of gender. Professor Esther Innocent, who is director, is here. And we are doing all we can to make sure we improve on girl enrollment at our university. So all secondary school students who are here, you have a place to join MUHAS when you finish secondary education.
Assistant Director, Technical Education Department of Vocation Education, Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Dr. Mwajuma Lingwanda, explains further the relevance of the conference.
The Women and Girls Technology Workshop provides them with capacity building on how they can be part of shaping their future in digital health. We are discussing learning and planning to advance women into digital technology leadership, science and technological fields. No one should indeed be left behind in the digital transformation we live in.
Some experts in technology and health, including students who are attending the conference, says investing in modern medical equipment will support advancement in teaching technology and bring about the intended positive results.
Because digital involves technology, because it involves having devices and access to equipment that helps attain digital health, funding these kinds of technologies is critical for women to take these tools into the regions that they are part of.
I encourage the government to should support us, support the young ladies by providing laptops, computers, and also there should be more mentorship programs such as this that MOAS has done, so as to encourage girls, more girls out there to continue engaging, to continue participating in events so as to have more skills that will help us in the digital health.
The conference is led by the theme, Bridging the Gap, Uniting Women and Girls in Digital Futures. Reporting from Dar es Salaam, Emmanuel Samuel, TBC News.
As the local government elections approach on 27th November 2024, the senior legal officer from the President's Office, TAMISEMI, Mihayo Kadete, emphasizes on the vital role of citizen participation. He urged citizens to engage actively in electoral process, highlighting that their votes are essential for shaping local governance and ensuring elected representatives reflect the community's needs. The officer calls on all eligible voters to make their voices heard, as every vote can lead to significant changes in their communities.
Kuna mambo mengi ya msingi au mambo mengi ya muhimu.
There are many fundamental aspects to consider. The first importance is that citizens will exercise their democratic right to choose or elect a leader in their area. Therefore, by participating, they can help elect their leader by casting their votes on that date. Another point is to strengthen democracy at the grassroots levels of neighborhoods, villages, and hamlets. Another importance is contributing to the development of the area, as they will elect a leader who will address their issues in their locality. So these leaders' participation in the elections will also lead to making decisions about the activities that the government undertakes in the area.
In case you missed any one of our stories, remember you can always go to our YouTube channel at TBC Online and watch anytime, anywhere. Now let's take a look at our today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Don't miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Time now for all the latest in international news. And here's international news with Nyambona Masamba.
International news starts in Azerbaijan, where delegates from around the world have gathered for the COP29 climate conference. United Nations climate chief has urged them to show global collaboration to address the crisis. Simon Steele says a new finance core should set to help developing nations cut carbon emission quickly. The annual conference is being held in Baku. This year is going to run for 10 days. Record carbon emissions, rising sea levels, and melting ices, those are just some of the main issues likely to be discussed. Let's have a look at Baku city. You don't have to go far from the shore of the Caspian Sea and the tower of skyscrapers of Baku to see evidence of challenges the world faces in cutting emissions. Literally, in the heart of the capital, pump jacks day and night, not away extracting Azerbaijan's rich reserve oil. The Netherlands, Dutch police have detained more than 100 protesters rallying in support of Palestinians in Amsterdam. The demonstrations have been banned for violence on Thursday, with Israel football fans who tore down Palestinians' flags and chanted "Resist anti-Arab" slogans. Palestinian solidarity protesters, students and anti-racism groups gathered in central Amsterdam in defiance of the 3-day protest ban. The restrictions were imposed on Friday after a fight broke out between supporters of football side Maccabi Tel Aviv and residents of Amsterdam Thursday evening. Dozens of Israel fans were injured. Authorities in Israel and Netherlands were quickly to call the attack anti-Semitic and made comparison with the Holocaust. From Europe to Asia, Japan's parliament has voted to keep Ishiguro Ishiba as a prime minister. A special session took place after Ishiba's governing party lost its majority last month's snap election. The LDP suffered its worst election loss in more than a decade. And lastly, to the Caribbean, Haiti Constitution Council fired the interim prime minister nearly 6 months after he took office. Gary Karim is said to be replaced by businessman Lex Didier Fissimen, who previously been considered for the job. The Caribbean nation hasn't had democratic elections in years. Criminal gangs control much of the capital. The Transitional Council was set up in April to stop the violence, but it has been empowered by infighting.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, KMC Complex manager Daniel Madenyeka says they are in the final stage to install lights in the stadium to be able to host Tanzania Premier League games during the night. Madenyeka told TVC News in Dar es Salaam that more teams have been motivated to use the stadium to play their home matches, hence the decision to install lights to make the stadium.
We are in the final steps of getting an engineer to fix the light at the stadium. This plan was not made because Yanga is coming to play. It has been in a place since the time Simba was using the pitch. When we work on improving this kind of sports infrastructures, we do it for the citizen. It's less about financial profit and more about bringing joy to the community.
Tanzania arch rivals Simba Sports Club and Young Africans KMC, FC and women football teams are using KMC Complex to host their matches. Parents have been advised to stop preventing children with disabilities from participating in various sports because sports help stimulate children's brains. Speaking to TVC in Mwanza, martial arts trainer Zachary Zola added that their training will help kids to develop confidence and that will boost studies capabilities.
After I've seen the challenges that many of these children are going through, they have been hidden by the community, their parents or their siblings, who are allowing them hide them inside the parishes so that they are not seen. I found it a good thing to teach them this martial arts.
Children with disabilities at Buswelo Primary School have been trained in martial arts, aiming at giving them skills to defend themselves and use the skills as sport. That is sports news, and now before we conclude the news bulletin for tonight, let's take a look at our weather update for the next 24 hours.
Good evening, dear viewers. I'm Desderi Moses from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to the next 24 hours weather forecast starting at 9 p.m. tonight. Windy patterns are showing moderate wind over the entire country, and rainfall models are showing the persistence of rainfall signals over Lake Victoria Basin regions, over western part of our country, over northeastern highlands regions, and the entire coastal regions of the Indian Ocean. And tonight, partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas is expected over the western part of our country. This weather is also expected to be featured over Lake Victoria Basin regions, with the exception of Shinyanga and Simiyu regions, and the remaining part of our country is expected to be mainly dry. Tomorrow, partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over a few areas and sun periods is expected to be featured over Lake Victoria Basin regions and western part of our country. Over Pwani region, including Mafia, Isos, together with Dar es Salaam region and Lindi and Mtwara regions are expected to feature rain showers over a few areas and sun periods, while over the high grounds of northeastern highlands, the regions of Arusha, Kilimanjaro and Manyara regions, light rain showers is expected over these areas. This weather is also expected over Tanga region together with Unguja and Pemba. Isos in the remaining part of our country is expected to be mainly dry. Now, welcome at the weather forecast for the next 4 days for some regions in our country. Light rain is expected over Dar es Salaam. For Dodoma regions, sun periods with the lowest minimum temperature is expected to be 20 degrees Celsius. Over Mbeya region, sun periods and light rain is expected in the next 4 days. Over Mwanza regions, thunder showers is expected in the next 4 days. For Kilimanjaro region, light rain is expected over the next 4 days. For Morogoro region, sun periods together with light rain is expected to be featured. Over Arusha regions, we are expecting to have light rain over the next 4 days. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, until next time, good night.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. Don't miss our next bulletin in Kiswahili at 11 p.m. On behalf of the whole team, I'm Agnes Tuniga. Thank you very much for being with us. Good night.